Hey everybody, my name is Christy Wood, and this is my second class review for my next course for digital painting. We just did our final, and now we're kind of getting into what we have left. I really had fun with this class, being able to explore my capabilities and what I could do with Photoshop, since that was our main thing that we used in this course was Photoshop. And this was definitely my first time using Photoshop in terms of artistically. I've only used it in the past with photos and like editing photos with my mom and for other personal uses for invitations and things like that. My favorite things I got to learn while using Photoshop was, and in this class, was doing the perspective drawing with atmospheric perspective and the landscape. Also being able to use the different brushes in Photoshop and learning how to make my own custom brushes, which was pretty neat. I'd probably say that the most challenging part of this course was being actually working on creating a sense of perspective in an art piece with foreground, midground, and background. Since I'm usually used to more cartoony, like flat drawings I've done just by pencil and paper, I've never actually been able to give it depth, which was really neat being able to learn how to do. And that was probably one of the most difficult parts for me, because trying to get that aspect of it without it causing issues and being able to do it correctly so it looked proper. When it comes to projects I'm proud of and just in general what I enjoyed learning, I really enjoyed working on the shapes that we had to do, with learning how to do the proper shading and lighting techniques, and then learning about the different colors. This was my complimentary piece that I did for our colors and shapes assignment. I also enjoyed doing the I did more of a grayscale version of it, and for me that seems more like if I was doing it on pencil and paper, and I really like the way it looks, being able to add depth with just black and white and gray. Following that, we had to do probably one of my favorites was doing line drawing, where we weren't allowed to pick up our pen off of our Wacom tablet, and we had to just do an entire copy of any photos they gave us. This was one of mine, and this is probably my favorite one in terms of how it came out. And I thought it was really cool being able to learn how to do the different shading and everything else in that, and see the concept of how that worked. I think that when it comes to the knowledge and of the elements and principles of art and design, it's definitely going to help me in the future, since I'm wanting to continue forward, attempting to do more environmental and character modeling. And so having that knowledge and having that understanding of how everything works and fits together in the art world really will help me out following on. With the shortcuts in Photoshop, I kind of had a harder time remembering and constantly using the different tools and everything, since Photoshop has so many shortcuts and it gives you access to multitudes of tools and just throws them at your feet. It's kind of hard to grasp everything that's available to you and fully remember it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. I enjoy using the overlay filter so that I can add a little bit more shading and glow or lighting to a piece. For instance, in my final landscape, which I was really thrilled about being able to complete this. And for me, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world to work with. But being able to work with the lighting aspect here with using overlay, and then with the trees and everything, being able to add overlay and then do the shading and make it seem like certain parts of the trees were lit up by the sun here, and being able to work on how the sun would display on land and how it would display across hills and mountains and everything was really cool. And just being able to have this all come together, how I have my bridge and my river on this hill in the foreground, kind of giving a sense that this is going to be a really shadowed part away from the sun, but it starts to roll over into the sun while it creeps over into this cute little medieval village in the midground that seems to have like a little farming area. It's right next to a really dark and mysterious forest. And then as we get into the background and follow different paths and everything, we have these really interesting mountains with some rivers going down and forests and this castle in the background. And it seems to be a really nice day. And it was really fun putting all this together and being able to work with different textures and kind of have everything seem like it's there, even though it's more of a line drawing, but still have depth and seem almost 3D like. When it came to putting this together in Unity, that was lots of fun. Get that up here. There we go. With the Unity part, being able to put this together, there we go, and kind of learned how this worked. There's a lot of similarities and differences in Unity and Photoshop and Nuke as well. But with Unity and Photoshop, you can kind of see how it has a lot of different layers, and being able to kind of place your own files in is pretty basic, and I can remove this and or add other photos and replace things, and being able to have this turn out into a whole gaming system where with what they created themselves, where I can move around just like an actual game engine. It was really neat, and being able to I'm excited to move forward into next class and learn how to create stuff like this. That's kind of my other goal, is to be able to create the world, not just design the environment and everything, but be able to learn how to create the world in my game. I'm thrilled about that. With the Nuke, that one seems a little bit more technical for me. It was really cool learning about it and learning how each different thing worked. But it definitely seemed a little bit more complex. The layers work a little bit differently than Photoshop, because you have to put them a certain way, connect all these little arrows and everything to where they show what you want them to show. But all in all, it's all really interesting to work with. Probably all in all, this class was lots of fun, and being able to work with different concept and designs, being able to do different things like this. This one was lots of fun. I was really proud of this one, being able to work and make this seem like an old piece of parchment, like with the burnt edges I have here, and having different ink smudges or watermarks, doing the stamping. It was lots of fun being able to work with that. But yeah, all in all, I'm really grateful for this class. I thought it was a really awesome and fun class. I'm excited and looking forward to what's ahead with working more with Unity and Nuke and kind of working with how that those design and more technical aspects work with video game process. I am definitely going to continue using Photoshop, and I'm thrilled to see what else I can learn and what else I can create with it. Thank you, Paul Weisman, my teacher, for being so awesome in this course and all your really helpful feedback that kind of helped me tweak my own art and understand more of what I was working with. I appreciate that. And I can't wait to see this next class. Thanks, guys.